What's good? I'm traveling, so my setup is a little bit different today, but the show must go on. Today's video is about minimum order quantities, or MOQs, what they are and why they matter. MOQs are the smallest number of units a supplier is willing to sell at a time. As you can see here on the screenshot on the right side, this is me talking with a supplier back in 2022, asking them about their MOQ. The manufacturer let me know that the MOQ is usually 200 pieces for each design and each color. They also mentioned that if I needed a lower order quantity, they can apply to their boss. I was not speaking directly with the owner of the factory or anyone really high up at the factory, so I had to go through this lower level employee to negotiate with someone higher up at the company. I told them that that should be fine, but spoiler alert, that was not fine. That was actually too much for me, but I'll get to that in a few moments. So why does the supplier have a minimum order quantity in the first place? Why not just let brands order 5, 10 pieces at a time? The supplier wants to maximize economies of scale, which means that the cost per unit of production decreases as more garments are produced. So it becomes more cost effective to print 500 t-shirts than it does if they only printed 100 t-shirts. Suppliers also want to avoid taking on small orders that may not generate enough revenue to cover the expenses for creating samples and shipping. So why do MOQs matter for startups? Basically, it's a numbers game that heavily favors people who already have money, which creates a strange power dynamic and this weird middle zone where if you're broke, you literally can't participate in the market because you don't have enough cash to meet these arbitrary minimums that are set by the supplier. If you're rich, it's easy. You just write a check and now you're in the game. And if you're middle class, you're basically forced to take on debt or find investors, which means giving up control of your business before you even start. If a supplier you're talking to has an MOQ that is out of your budget or outside of your fulfillment capabilities, it's time to negotiate. Your pitch needs receipts, photos of past releases, existing sales data if you have it, and any financial projections. Suppliers are definitely tired of random Shopify bros sliding in their DMs saying, "Trust me, I'm going to be the next Supreme." It happens more often than you realize. Adding these receipts to your pitch will show the supplier that you're not starting a clothing brand just for the vibes and that you're taking it seriously. Something that's worked for me in the past is framing small orders as a test run or a pilot program. I didn't beg for a lower minimum order quantity. I sold them on the idea of testing the market with a small run before scaling up. I made it clear that this initial bulk order run is not my end game, but just the beginning. Placing a bulk order of 100 pieces proved to the manufacturer that I'm serious, and then they gave me much more freedom and room for negotiation. So now, every time I launch a new product, the manufacturer lets me start with 50 pieces because he knows I'm good for it and I'm going to place a larger bulk order if that product sells well. And if that product doesn't sell well, then I'm going to keep trying and keep making new samples for new products, which they want because they're prioritizing a long-term relationship with you. The longer they can work with you, the more money they're going to make. The price per piece did go up once I negotiated down to 50 pieces from 100. But didn't go up enough to turn me away. If anything, it made it way easier for me to manage my inventory while testing new products. So that way I'm not sitting on too many pieces in case I can't sell a product, or if it doesn't sell well enough, I don't want to be just sitting on that inventory for a while because that gets really expensive. And then I'll have to list each piece at a markdown or a discount in order to move that inventory, which then lowers my profit margins. So 50 pieces is kind of like this sweet spot that I've found with the manufacturer, where it's substantial enough, they can still play into that economy of scale idea that we were talking about earlier. They get a paycheck from me, and I don't have to worry about sitting on too much inventory. Once I place a bulk order, they just ship it directly to the Pietra warehouse. I use Pietra for all of my fulfillment and shipping. The Pietra warehouse and fulfillment center is linked to my Shopify store, so anytime someone makes a purchase on my site, it will get fulfilled and shipped within 2 days. All right, so that's the rundown on minimum order quantities, what they are, and why they matter. If you want access to all these slides, download them for free at the link in the description. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video, please leave a comment and I'll see you in the next one.